checking out, but really you just want to get in, sell your stuff, and make sure that you're safe. G'day guys, welcome back to the channel and episode 7 of our Zero to Hero series. Again, endeavouring to do something different. I am taking out a rented MISC prospector and we're going to do some ship mining. This is similar to the ground mining. You just mine different stuff and it's sold in a different way. So as you would have seen, as promised, all the ships are still on delivery. Haven't used any of the free fly ships as of yet. Last episode, we did some shady stuff and actually ended up losing money, which was unfortunate. Having done mining in the prospector before, I have done a video about this and I'll link it in the cards here. It can be quite profitable. The way we're going to have to do it with this Zero to Hero run is we're just going to have to sell the unprocessed ore. Normally you would process the ore, take that ore to a TDD on one of the main planets and then sell it there. Unfortunately, we don't have a transport ship to transport the processed ore. The prospector can only transport unprocessed ore. So what I tried to do here is go to an illegal salvage mission for a mole, and what you can actually do, I forgot to bring the multi-tool because I'm an idiot. With the tractor beam attachment, you can actually pull the bags off the mole and put them on your prospector to have 30 SU bags, I believe, which then increases how much you can put on your prospector and how much profit you get. Mistakes were made. So we're traveling to Daymar. And the process here is similar to ground mining. The only difference is you you fly down to the surface in your prospector. You want to keep your throttle set to about SCM speeds, so that's where it is not in the red part of the gauge, but in the blue part of the gauge, or just above that slightly, and keep your altitude to about 900-ish meters, and just ping away, and you'll find deposits. So with prospector mining, you can't actually mine gemstones. You can try, but the laser's too powerful, they will just explode and damage your ship, so don't bother. The other thing to mention, if you are renting a prospector, obviously you can't change the hardware on the prospector. So there will be some rocks that you just can't crack. And that's okay. There will be plenty of profit out there to find. Don't worry about it. So here we go, we found our first target. We will go in and we'll start mining. I'm not going to make you sit through the 3 hours of mining I think I did here, so we'll speed it up. Things to note, obviously, similar to ground mining, watch your intensity of your laser, watch for overcharge, watch for the distance for it to be in the optimal zone. With prospector mining, not everything is mineable. There will be some that are impossible. I always give them a crack anyway, just to see if you can break it. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Even this one that says it's challenging and I should be able to break. If I persist, I couldn't break, so I give up after a while. And then once you've actually cracked a rock, you will, similarly to ground mining, extract. Now the biggest difference here is there will be some of these rocks that will have inert materials. Try to avoid those inert materials. They are worthless and it is not worth your time extracting them. If the inert materials happen to be of a higher percentage than the non-inert materials, see how that one was 100% inert, then it's still a toss-up as to whether you would want to get it or not. If the non-inert materials are rich enough, say it's titanium or gold or something really good, then grab it. Otherwise, ignore it and leave it behind. Anyway, I will leave you to enjoy the rest of this little sped up mining bit. Oh, before I go, you will find, even if you can't crack rocks in the area, there will be some that you can pick up, just like here. So that filled up my bags, which had my earlier plan worked, would have been bigger. And what you do is you just head back to your nearest refinery, which are generally on the R&R stations, you know, CRU L1, L2, HUR, L1, L2, pretty much anything that's around a Lagrange station. Don't go into the shop, go up into this level here, where the ore sales machines are, and sell your ore. And that's pretty much it, just rinse and repeat. So I got 15k from that, and that was maybe 30 minutes of me mining. So was that 30k an hour just selling? If you do refine the materials, obviously certain materials are worth more, and I do go over those in my other video. When you take those to the TDD, they will be worth a hell of a lot more. Yeah, there I was just checking the values for renting a rock and a cutlass back. It is cheaper than renting the Prospector, but if you happen to have a ship capable of transporting your refined ores, the profit margin is much, much higher. A single night of mining some of the higher end stuff, if you can find, you know, titanium, beryl's a good one, especially with a rented Prospector. You won't see a lot of gold. You won't see a lot of any of the other really expensive ones, but it can net you, you know, 100 or 200k per run where you sell it, and that's generally 3 or 4 trips of half an hour. So, you know, that's 3 hours of mining. The refining process does take quite some time, so you would leave that running overnight, come back the next day, and there's your 100, 150, 200k. So you're making, if you're only doing the one mining run, you're making, you know, 200k a night. It's not horrible. There are other ways to make more money, but this works. I find mining, kind of like salvaging, is quite chilled out, right? Sit there, you mine, you generally don't get bothered by other players because you're in the middle of nowhere on a planet. Who's going to come out there to bother you, right? So yeah, back to the Prospector. We will go back to Daymar and we will rinse and repeat. And now obviously the good thing about doing this in the Prospector versus the Rock is that you don't require any specific mining suits, as you're not exposed to the atmosphere of the planet you're on. Alright, I will see you back at Daymar.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel engaged.
Alright, so here we are back at Daymar. As I said, this is just a rinse and repeat mission. Head down to the surface, find some targets, mine some targets, fill up those bags, head back to the station, IUCAUL1, and sell them. You can make this a little bit shorter just because you're selling the unrefined ore, you can go for now to Port Olisar to sell.
Quantum travel.
Alrighty, so here we are back at COUL1 again, into the refinery station, and we're going to sell that next lot. This is lot number 2. So keeping in mind the first lot earned us 15,700-ish credits. Let's see what the next one gets us. $17,000, so we had a bit of laranite on board there. I think that's what the good part was, and a bit of gold ore as well. And as I said, sometimes you can just pick those up on the ground. It's not that often, so don't count on it always being worth, 17. Assume anywhere from 15 to 20 and you're doing well. And yeah, like before, we will just head on back out. Get some more ore, come back, sell it again. And that's the process here. I understand it's relatively repetitive, kind of boring gameplay. But when you're trying to make your way in the universe, you got to do what you got to do, right? Stop for hydration. Always good to hydrate. There's some dude in a noob suit. I'm still not a fan of littering. Come on, where's the bottle? There's the bottle. Put it in the local inventory. It's not littering. Can't tell me otherwise. Naked guy, as you do. Almost went to summon my ship there. Turns out I don't need to. It's already on a pad. I do like the prospect. It looks futuristic enough. And it's a cool little ship. I like it. the way you enter and exit's a bit annoying, I guess. I mean, there's no real other way to do it. You have to climb a ladder to get up there, right? It couldn't be a back entry because all the space is taken up by the prospecting gear. Alrighty, so here we are at Port Olisar. As I said, you can sell your ore here. And at this point, I'm going to call it a night. It's been a bit of a long one. But we've made some decent money. Pretty much made our money back prospecting off one night. Unfortunately, just with my schedule at the moment, work-life balance, it's hard to be able to get in and play for hours and hours and hours and actually make some decent progress. So, unfortunately, this is going to be the end of this series. This was an account I made purely for this Zero to Hero, and it doesn't actually have a package associated with it. So I was only able to film this thanks to the free fly that was happening at the time. That's now over. However, if enough of you want me to continue this series and you think it's worthwhile, I'll chuck the $45 it costs to get a basic package, and we'll continue with the adventures of Guy 1234 on his way to making a million Alpha UEC and being the hero that he always thought he should be. Alright guys, so that's it for this one. Hopefully there is a next one, and if there is, I will catch you in it. Cheers!